Well, hello, everybody. What's up? I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, and we're back, everybody. Come on in, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, get a membership if you can. Got a big shout out for my girl, Kathy. She's looking out for me on a daily. I appreciate you, Kathy. Kathy's in the UK, but I gotta tell you, that's my girl right there, and she's got a channel. She's starting a true crime thing. If you have a link, Kathy, drop it. But Kathy's been super supportive of Guilty of Crime for a while. She sends me the links and articles and Facebook groups about stuff that I had no idea. Also, well, she's my girl. She's supporting me. Buy me a coffee. And she told me, hey, set up a buy me a coffee account so we can donate to that. And what I'm going to do with that, guys, per Kathy's suggestion, is use it for CrimeCon 2026. So I've got a link in there. It's just buy me a coffee / guilty of crime. We'll be dropping that in there. I have my goal today. We're still getting the goals, but I want to, with my heart and all my soul, go to CrimeCon, and I will, but that will help. So that being said, one of the mods already can't go, and she needs to sell her tickets. I want to go no matter what. Come hell or high water, I'm there. All right. So, Teresa, good to see you. Braddy's still in spirits. Hello, sweet J and Mods. Good to see you. Big hugs to you. Big hugs. Guys, I'm excited today. I'm excited just because, I don't know, it's a good day. I woke up. I'm in a great mood. I'm following the cases. There's a lot going on in true crime. Today, we're talking about Michael McKee and the Tepe murders. Now, I'm going to explain the indictment to you, which is going to, in turn, tell you what weapon, if there was a suppressor, what charges are upgraded, as well as talking about the ex. We got the ex-girlfriend of Michael McKee that was still with Michael McKee, or with Michael McKee in 2017, around the time of the divorce. Yes. And she's not even talking to news stations. They reached out and she said, no, thank you, by not answering. So I've got her. She's on TikTok. We're going to talk about we're going to see what the ex has to say. We're going to talk about how this monster broke in. And when I say how this monster broke in, first of all, there's Michael McKee and his new mugshot. I also want you guys to know the topic for today. We're going to talk about his ex, what the family members say, how not surprised they were that this monster was the one that killed both the Tepes and purposefully left the children alive to suffer as a revenge plot. All right. So we're talking about this today. There's a lot of updates in the case. And I told you before we would find out how this monster broke in and what we think the motivations were, when, where, why, what, how. And I told you guys that I suspected that law enforcement was going to find his electronics, and in the electronics, he was going to watch the Tepe wedding 100 times. And I guarantee you he was watching it over and over and over and over. And then he slapped. Then he snapped psycho killer with a silencer gun, and he went through the back window. Which I want to show you. We're still going to get into all of it, but I have to show you this because I mean, it's just important. And he also has a new attorney, guys. He has a new attorney. That's a private one, which means he's got some kind of money. All right. And he's in Ohio now with these multiple charges. So that's a new mugshot. That is how he broke in, was through the window. He did not have a key. He did not know the code. All right. So let's get into what happened. Hello, everybody. Come on in, hit that like button, subscribe, do all the things. Let's get to the goal. We're going to be here today. So buckle up, buckle in. All right. Now, look, he's got a new lawyer. All right. So we're starting with the update. I'm going to put his lawyer up here, and I'm going to show you how he got into the Tepe house and everything else. All right. So I hope you guys are here for the long haul, because we got quite an episode today with lots of new details and lots of information in the case that we were guessing. Right now, he's not rich. He had lawsuits coming against him, and he was hiding from the lawsuits. And literally, he had disappeared. he had disappeared, but he must have some assets. He must have some things, or they wouldn't let him hire. They would assign him a public defender. So that being said, he's got something somewhere because this lady is his new lawyer. All right. He was moved to Ohio. So listen, Michael McKee's attorney, Diane Menashe, she is the new attorney hired. She was raised in Seattle, earned her undergraduate degree at Purdue and her law degree at Tulane. She's defended numerous clients. Here's the deal. He wants her to be death penalty ready because this is a death penalty case. And now that the charges have been upgraded, which we're going to go over the indictment, we're going to break it down to you. So I also have the indictment as well. Let me show you that just so you guys know what we're doing today. And then that's the bottom line. We're going to break down the indictment with the new aggravated murder charges, and they've upped them to the 5 counts, which shows the silencer. It shows everything. When we read it, we'll break down what exactly happened. Okay. So that's what we're getting into. Buckle up, buckle in, chill out, relax, and let's get to it. That's how we do it. All right. So he's got a new attorney. It looks like, are you in here right now, Tiff? All right. Anyway. All right. So we're going to talk about the charges. That's his new attorney. She's death penalty ready, which is very important. You got to remember when Chad Daybell hired that attorney and it wasn't death penalty qualified. All right. So I know his defense attorney, Diane, she and Jose Baez represented Dr. William Hustle when he was prosecuted. He was acquitted. She's a pit bull, very highly regarded in the community. I'll leave that up for a moment while I show you her. She defended Brian Goldsby, who was convicted of killing an Ohio State student, Reagan Tokes, resulting in a life sentence, guys, instead of the death penalty. All right. She also represented Quentin Smith, convicted of killing 2 police officers. And you guys know what happens when you take the life of a police officer. You get the death penalty, but she got them a life sentence. She also defended, like this smart person Chrissy just said. Chrissy just said she's got the juice. She defended Dr. William Hustle. All right. William Scott Hustle was an intensive care physician who became the focus of a high-profile criminal investigation after the allegations surfaced that he prescribed unusually high doses of fentanyl to terminally ill patients at Mount Carmel West at St. Anne's Hospital in Columbus. Now, between 2015 and 2018, the hospital officials linked this guy to 34 deaths and later accused him of the deaths through excessive medication, right? So he was charged criminally in 14 cases back in 2019, charged with multiple counts, while prosecutors argued the dosage went beyond accepted palliative I can't even say that right now, care. All right. That's basically, he was trying to help them die, and that's not legal. So they died from underlying conditions, not fentanyl was the defense, that he didn't do it. And after a lengthy trial with this pit bull of an attorney, he did not get the death penalty, right? After the lengthy trial, the testimony from medical experts, hospital staff, and investigators found him not guilty on all charges on April 20th, 2022. Guys, his medical license was revoked, which is good. But this is her right here. This is his new pit bull attorney that's pretty highly paid. All right. So we're going to take a look at that. And then I want you to see where Dr. Michael McKee went in through the window into the house. He did not, in fact, have a code. He did not, in fact, have a key. He walked right in right there from that window. All right. That came out as breaking news last night. We now know how he got in. So that being said, now we can begin. All right. Good to see you, Kel. How you doing, my girl? Synth, glad you're here. Holly, always a pleasure. Darcy, you got the juice. Yeah, we got the juice. And other people do in chat, apparently. When they're telling me in chat what the lowdown is, then boy. All right, so let's get into it. We're gonna start with what the hell is happening, like right now. All right, Michael McKee in the death, he's extradited and his charges. And then you guys are just going to get all kinds of information. And you might have homework because there's a lot. All right, so here we go. Death, indicted in the deaths, up the charges, and we're going to break those down after 4 counts aggravated murder, 2 counts of aggravated burglary in the indictment, and extradited to Ohio with now a new lawyer. That may just get him off. All right, so let's go.
Count of aggravated burglary. Now, in this indictment, prosecutors say that he used an automatic gun with a silencer. The court documents don't offer many more details, but here's what we know as of right now. Spencer and Monique Tepe were found dead inside of their Weinland Park home on December 30th. Their 2 children were also inside of that home. Thankfully, they were not hurt. This case gained nationwide attention for nearly 2 weeks until police arrested Michael McKee. Now, Monique, of course, that was her ex-husband. He was arrested on January 10th in Rockford, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. Columbus police say neighborhood surveillance video helped to identify that suspect.
And guys, that is him. So there are people that are still in chat. And what's up, Allie Callie? You want the lowdown? Yes, always. I love you guys, and I love you guys talking in chat. Also, thank you, my girl Tiff. We're going to have a Jay buy me a coffee. It's literally buymeacoffee.com at Guilty of Crime, right? Buy me a coffee /Guilty of Crime. You don't have to do it now. You could do it whenever. That is going to be the ticket to CrimeCon. And I'm trying to get a booth if they accept me. But I would like to use that for that because, well, I still owe another $8,000 on that $30,000 roof that I had to get at the beginning of the year. So anyone wants me to go to CrimeCon to support it, buy me a coffee. It's going to stay there until it's time to buy tickets. Emily Jane, member for 13 months and always in my brain because you always know what cases I'm going to cover and I don't know how. Are you spying on me? I feel like you are. Thank you, Kathy, for becoming a member again. And then Emily for 13 months and the $2 super sticker. Hit that like and get it started. Choo choo. Girl, CrimeCon is going to be at Las Vegas this year. It's going to be at the very end of May, 29th to the 31st. And we rolling deep, Braddy. We rolling deep. We're taking the RV. We're driving there in the RV. Me and Mrs. Guilty and Baby Guilty and Mama Pearl are rolling to Vegas. And we're gonna do it good. All right. Yeah, we already established we think alike. You get out of my head. Get out of my head. You're spying on me. All right, Victoria. Good to see you, my friend. So anyway, we're gonna do it big. We're doing it in Vegas. I'm going to have a booth if they let me. If not, your girl Jay from Guilty of Crime is just gonna be there, conversating and enjoying the true crime that I can soak up and learn from. So that being said, back to Michael McKee. This was him. This is him. And that is how they identified when this person walked to the car, they followed the car all the way back. That was a 7-hour drive, by the way. All right. He was in Ohio. It took him 7 hours is what they're saying to get back home.
Detectives tracked a car that arrived before the killings and left after. Police say they recovered multiple guns from McKee's home, including the one they believe was used in those murders. If convicted.
And guys, in the indictment, it talks about the gun and the muffler, which is also known as a silencer. So the grand jury indictment tells us a lot that we need to know. All right, y'all are going to meander down to the highway to CrimeCon. You got it. Chrissy says if anyone can get him off, it's her. I'm very disappointed to see that she's representing him. My friend Will was not guilty. She also defended Matthew Moore or Mateo Moore when charged with his wife's death. Well, there you go. He's got a good lawyer. All right. If no booth, do a book signing. I will. I got to order the books too. By the way, been crazy busy. All right, let's go.
McKee faces life in prison. Now, he says he plans to plead not guilty in this case. Tonight, he remains locked up in Illinois. He could be brought back here to Franklin County sometime next week. Reporting live in studio tonight, Rodney Dunnigan, ABC 6 News.
As the case moves forward, we're also learning that Columbus police will no longer be in charge of bringing McKee here to Ohio. Now that he has been indicted by the grand jury, the Franklin County Sheriff's Office will be responsible for bringing him here. Former Sheriff Zach Scott extradited dozens of people during his long career, and he tells us a lot of planning goes into bringing back such a high-profile suspect.
when we would drive at times, we would just have a Chevy Caprice. Suspect would always be handcuffed, but we would establish a rapport with them. We'd spend time talking with them.
The sheriff's office warrants an extradition unit now making plans to extradite McKee to Ohio. However, they are not giving an exact timeline on when.
Oh, and they are, and he's going to be in court on Friday. So that's why we're catching up, guys.
He will be returned to Columbus to face that long list of charges. And we will follow this case every.
All right, and we will too. So let's pull this bad boy down and get to it, because we have a big episode ahead of all of us today. And I want to make sure I have enough to talk, because I'm going to read you the indictment. But before we get to that, I just want you to take a look at the Tepe murder case first. Ohio court date scheduled. He was just extradited to Ohio. So this date was yesterday, Wednesday, January 21st. All right. And that is him. And he's now in Ohio, extradited, but he's going to be in court tomorrow. All right. Now, the reason that we're at this predicament is because the grand jury handed down the indictment where from where he was in, Illinois, in his hometown, and they're extraditing him back because this is where he committed the crimes, was in Ohio. He signed off on that and ready to go. All right. So he's facing those charges that we're going to get into. Michael McKee, 39 years old, of Chicago. So yes, they extradited him from Illinois back to Franklin County Jail on Tuesday, which was 2 days ago, ahead of the court appearance in Franklin County, where he's going to plea in court. He's facing 4 charges of aggravated murder and 1 charge of aggravated burglary with the firearm specification, which I'm going to show you here in a bit. He's accused of shooting his ex-wife, Monique, and her husband, Spencer Tepe, on December 30th, 2025, in their Weinland Park. Now, guys, he's scheduled for an arraignment this Friday. Tomorrow's the 23rd at 1 p.m. in Franklin County courtroom of common pleas. His charges were directly dismissed out of the municipal court on Tuesday. If convicted, McKee faces a minimum life sentence in prison with parole eligibility after 32 years. And he might just get that with that new lawyer. All right. He might get that. And he's looking mighty ugly nowadays, right? He's all scratched up. I think the razors are just jacking him up. All right, guys, come on in. It's free to hit that like button. Dumb to keep the weapon and the silencer. I agree. What's up, Deborah Bush? Good to see you, my friend. All right. So tomorrow he's going to be in court. McKee was arrested 12 days ago on January 12th in Rockford, Illinois, where he's now being extradited. He was at Winnebago jail, and they're bringing him back. Oh, he's brought now. He's in Columbus now, waiting for tomorrow. Columbus police and detectives used the video surveillance that we all saw to track McKee and his vehicle from nearby 4th Street in Rockford, Illinois, where he is a licensed surgeon at OSF Anthony Medical Center. Additional evidence was collected in his Chicago home, where multiple weapons were allegedly located, including one that Columbus Division Police Chief Elaine Bryant said is the preliminary link to the homicides. Guys, translate that in English. They have the murder weapon. Now, the Tepes were found dead inside their home after police conducted a wellness check at the wrong home. They did not, in fact, go to the Spencer's home. They went to the wrong home. 2 young children were in there, and the family dog were unharmed. And many people ask, did Dr. McKee really leave those children as a plot for revenge? Now, he was married August 2015 for 7 actual months, but it took 2 years for the divorce. All right, 2 years to get it all done, said and done with. So now we are back. We are caught up to speed, and I want you guys to hear from the ex-girlfriend. All right, let's start that at the top of the hour in case somebody needs to go. And remember, he got in through that damn basement window. He is very scary, very, very scary. All right, guys, we are going to hear we are going to hear from the girlfriend, and then I'll read you the indictment. All right. And then we're going to get into the next part with everything. We're going to talk about his relationship prior to the wedding, or prior to the Tepe's wedding, and etc. All right. Ohio does hold a death penalty right now, but he got a death penalty qualified private attorney. So that might, I don't know what's going to happen with that one. And you can imagine being one of the females he dated in the past. Yes, that is why I'm covering this today. We're talking about dating profiles and ex-girlfriends and what this monster is, what's going on in his head. All right. Good to see you, Zulecki. Zulik, I'm going to call you that. The ex-girlfriend needs to watch out. He hasn't been convicted yet. She doesn't want to be on the list. Well, let's take a look. She did not do an interview with law enforcement. I'm sorry, with anybody. She did not do an interview with the news. I don't know about law enforcement, but she never confirmed it. So if you were to watch News Nation, they tell you what she says, but they also say she deleted it. All right. Foxy Amazon, thank you for the 420 guilty of crime membership. If you received a membership, please thank her. All right. All right. This is the ex-girlfriend and what she has to say. Her name is Officer Doofy 2.0. So when you actually take a look at her profile there, that's her. And she's got a lot of stuff about Mr. Michael McKee and patient that passed away. I mean, she's really doing it. So
last Sunday,
let's
I
go.
get a text message from an old coworker.
Now they said that she took this down, which is wild because I see it up. So let's listen to it together in case it gets taken down again.
Last Sunday, I get a text message from an old coworker that linked this article about a Michael David McKee, and my heart dropped because that's one of my ex-boyfriends, which is pretty insane. I was floored. So just wanted to hop on and talk a little bit about the whole situation. So I dated him around the end of 2017 through.
Now listen, he is an actual surgeon. He does have a lawsuit against him. You could see there's a patient that died shortly after when he disappeared. And yeah, she's got a lot of stories, but she met him around the time of him being in medical school as well. All right. Licensed in 3 states, good in none, nonsense. He's nonsense in all states. All right. Let's go. So she met him. Let's just go back real quick. She met
McKee and
ex-girlfriend Michael McKee. She speaks out, and we're going back to 2017. All right.
My heart dropped because that's one of my ex-boyfriends, which is pretty insane. I was floored. So just wanted to hop on and talk a little bit about the whole situation. So I dated him around the end of 2017 through a good chunk of 2018, I think. So what I remember of him is he was just like a nice guy. Like he was quiet, introverted, which there's nothing wrong with that. He was a general surgery resident at the time where I was doing my residency as well. And he was really nice. Like there was no.
All right. So remember, that's also when and where he met Monique Tepe. All right. Has he been seething for the last 10 years? I mean, or 8, I should say. Mab says, I'll be back. You do that. So he met both of them in 2000. Well, he met her in 2015, got a divorce in 2017. And right along that transaction is when he met her. Listen to what she says about him. Right? He's introvert, a little weird.
Issues with him. He was always kind and respectful with me. I've been over his house. It's pretty crazy that you never know someone. But long story short, he did tell me a little bit about his divorce at the time. So, and again, I want to preface this with this is his side of the story and what he spoke to me.
And it's his side of the story about Monique Tepe. All right. So yeah, spill the tea, bring in receipts, of course.
This is not truth. This is obviously very biased, but what he told me was that one day he came home from residency and that Monique had vanished. Like she took everything. She left the house completely empty and also took their dog. He was just left very stunned because he didn't see this coming. And
if she did do that, then something's wrong in his brain that he didn't see it coming, because everybody was told by Monique that he was weird and she wasn't compatible with him. Again, it was only 7 actual months that they were together, and I don't think it was a happy 7 months most of the time. All right.
He was like completely devastated. So again, this is his side of the story, his thing. Not even sure if it's truth, but I do remember him saying that to me. He also, another thing that I remember is that he didn't really talk about his parents. He did tell me he was adopted by an older couple, and he just like, they were good parents, but he just never talked about them. He never talked to them. I would call my mom like every day. We have a great relationship, but he was just much more reserved. He never really, when I asked him more, he just didn't really want to talk about it. So I kind of left it at that. This is him. This is us celebrating New Year's with a bunch of my friends and family. And this is me right here. And that's him, which is crazy. He also has been to my family home. That's him right there.
Now, listen, what she's saying doesn't line up with what a lot of other people are saying. But if you listen to the way that Monique left him, allegedly, I mean, it seems like his little fragile ego couldn't take the fact that a woman got up and walked out on him and just moved on. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like he's been seething for years over it.
This is me and my family members, but it's honestly shocking, and I'm grateful that the Lord protected me from moving forward in that relationship. The reason why it ended was I honestly wasn't feeling it. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but he was just kind of boring, and he was very much like kind of surface level. There was no, like, I couldn't go deep with him, and
he was very boring, surface level, and maybe that's how Monique felt. This is an ex-lover, ex-girlfriend of Michael McKee. Now, there's 2 exes out there talking. The other one was just talking on a where you can read it, but this is the ex that met him as he was divorcing Monique. All right. And yes, the chick is pretty lucky she walked out when she did, but it's good to hear about that, because right after this, we're going to hear the opposite of this. I'm not surprised at all that this monster did this. All right.
Yeah, that's why like I couldn't form like a deep connection with him because of that. Like I think he had a wall up where he just like could not go deep with like any conversations really. So that's why it ended. And I moved up north, and the long distance thing didn't work out either. I'm praying for Monique and the Tepe family and their children. But I don't know, I'm shocked. Also, guy aged like a banana, so don't judge me. So last Sunday, I get a text message from.
Okay, so that's wild. I'm glad that we found her so we could continue. I do want to take a look at this because it wasn't up when I looked. Very sad update. But listen, I'm giving you all the updates I possibly can today so we can just know what's going on in this case. A psychopath decides when they discard, and if they're discarded, revenge can be expected, in my opinion. And I agree with that 110%. What's up, Donna? Says hi to Mab. I would never want to go deep with him. That's what she said. All right, listen, 14 hours ago, this update came in, and I want to play it. Oh, I should read it to you. Okay, listen, very sad update. The gentleman who underwent an almost 10-hour surgical procedure on January 8th, guys. Remember, he was still working. He was not arrested until the 10th. He performed a surgical procedure on January 8th on a gentleman that passed away yesterday. He was never discharged from the hospital after his surgery. This was after Dr. McKee allegedly murdered his ex-wife Monique and her husband, Dr. Spencer Tepe. It was 2 days before he was arrested, but it was after he took both of their lives and, in my opinion, the revenge plot to keep the children alive. Now, she says, if you recall, I share a little bit about this patient last week and stated there's no operative note in his chart, according to the family. His family told me today that the operative note had been now completed by another individual. The family states the hospital is telling them it will cost the family $10,000 for an autopsy. This is really unbelievably sad. This family needs legal advice if anyone can help out who is licensed in Illinois. And I pose that to you guys. If you're local or you know anybody and you want to help, there you go. Reach out to Officer Doofy or anybody that they put on here, right? 2.0. Now the family needs legal if they need it. Just to be clear, I'm not suggesting the hospital did anything wrong. This is a terrible and extremely unique situation for many people. It is just never a good idea or something like that. Bad idea to get legal advice. All right, let's keep going. And I hope you guys can see how disturbing this is, that he performed a surgery on somebody days before he was arrested and days after he did a double homicide, and the guy died. What was he thinking while he was doing the surgery? How did he do the aftercare? Did he leave something in him? What happened? There's a creepy heartbeat sound. All right, so there's a couple good updates here already. And again, Officer Doofy 2.0, she's got quite a bit of things about him. She's talking about his mug shots, and I mean, she's like, look at this. His one more speaks out.
Last Sunday, I get a text message from an old coworker that linked this article about a.
Oh, this one's it. I don't know why they said they took it down, but that is his ex, guys, right there. We heard from her, and now we're gonna move on. All right, it's free to hit the like button, guys. Subscribe, get a membership, all the stuff. That's his girlfriend, and now we're gonna move on. We're gonna have here a discrepancy versus what the girlfriend says and what the friend says, and then you're gonna see the indictment. All right, and then we got a big episode still. We haven't even got to that yet. All right, so let's see this real quick. I got the shortened version. There's a 16-minute version, but I don't have time for that, so we're going to listen to this for right now.
For the first time, we are hearing from a close friend of Spencer and Monique Tepe, who says she knew from the beginning who would be arrested in the couple's deaths.
Spencer and Monique Tepe were found shot to death in their Weinland Park home on December 30th. Their 2 children were inside at the time, but were not physically harmed. Nice. Police say there were no signs of forced entry.
Monique's ex-husband, Michael McKee, is accused of killing the couple. In a story you'll see only on 10 TV, friends tell Lacey Crisp why they suspected McKee from the...
And they're saying they suspected McKee, but this lady, the ex, didn't, although she says that she's glad that she got out. Psychopaths are very shallow and can't have a meaningful conversation with them. Interesting. All right, I can't believe 9-10 years later, that's what we're talking about here. Let's listen to what these people say, in contrary to anybody else.
Lacey.
Well, Gina Spinelli tells me this house is the place where memories were made, and now it's a nightmare.
If you knew Monique, you knew this was...
All right, again, there's a 16-minute interview. I'm not playing that, but I will link it if anyone wants to watch that. This gives you it gives you all of it in like less than 3 minutes.
What happened to her?
Gina Spinelli has been friends with Spencer and Monique Tepe for years and says Mo's smile would light up a room. She explained Mo felt grateful for having Spencer after such a hard first marriage to Michael McKee.
She never called him, I didn't even know his name. She never said Michael. She said my ex. She said he was bad. She said abusive. I don't think I ever got the impression that she was afraid of him. I got the impression that she hated him and that she knew things were bad there, and I don't think it ever fully left her mind. I don't think anyone thought that this was going to happen. I also don't think that she ever thought he would leave her alone for the rest of her life.
Columbus police said there weren't any reports filed regarding abuse or a request for a restraining order against McKee. When Spinelli got the call with the devastating news that 2 of her dear friends had been killed inside their home, she only thought of one person, the person police arrested Saturday and charged Sunday with premeditated murder.
And it still makes me wonder why nobody said anything. Maybe they did tell law enforcement, and law enforcement said, well, don't say anything. Let it, I don't know. I just don't know how it didn't get out. Right. Then we're going to hop to the indictment.
Do you have any idea why now, after all of these years, that he's accused of doing this heinous act?
I think it's just because everything that everything you see the wedding video, everything that people see is who they really were. And they were so perfect and they were so wonderful. And I think he couldn't live with it. I think he could not fathom her happiness. And she was so happy.
Spinelli tells me she was at their celebration of life services. She says it was heartwarming to hear so many wonderful stories about her dear friends.
Lacey, you have been on this story since day one, and we've heard so much about the couple's children, just 1 and 4 years old. They were in the house when their parents were killed. They weren't hurt, thankfully, but I think a lot of people are wondering tonight, how are those kids doing?
Yeah, so they're now living with family members, but Spinelli tells
And the family members are saying that these kids are going to be in an amazing home. They're going to flourish. All right. And that's what we want to know, Clark. That's why we're digging so deep into this. And y'all are funny in chat. I got Foxy saying you don't realize that I'm what the Gen Z. I am not 28. I'm 46. So yeah, I got a little bit of age. And big hugs to you, Clark, Jen's a Gypsy, Norma. Mab looks like he's back. Yes, this dude must have been miserable at a very slow burn watching how damn happy she was. They do say that he watched that damn video over and over and over. And Carolyn says Monique met Michael in college at 2013. They dated at 2013-14, married 2015 for 7 months. Michael's mask came off. He treated Monique horribly. Psychological abuse threatened her life many times. Thank you for letting us know that, Carolyn. We appreciate it. And you say on October 25th, the judge ordered his malpractice suit to be made public via the newspaper, Brian Rambles. Well, thank you. Thank you guys for letting me know about this case.
tells me they now have an army of aunts and uncles who will forever
There you
look
go.
after them.
There you go.
So if you want to see my full interview with Spinelli, you could go ahead and go and search.
And I'll drop the comment. It's a 16-minute video. It's really heartfelt, but we don't need to hear all of it right now. What I do want to get to now is the indictment, and then we're going to get into the dating profile and all the other things that you guys need to know. The juice, right? Y'all need the juice. All right, listen, guys, I'm just going to go over this real quick. This is the indictment that tells us what we need to know. All right, and I can't go back and forth. If you guys need me, let me know in chat. The mods. All right, so listen, January 16th, this is the indictment from the grand jury. All right, beginning on January 9th, 2026, and the state of Ohio, Franklin County, and the charges were upped. It was initially 2 counts plus 1. Now it's aggravated murder times 2 with specifications, aggravated burglary, 1 count, and with specifications, aggravated murder, total of 5 counts. It was 2 plus 1. Now it's 4 plus 1, 5 counts. And I'll break that down for you. All right. So count 1, aggravated, Michael McKee, date of offense. The jurors of the grand jury of the state of Ohio duly selected, impaneled, sworn, and charged to inquire of the crimes and offenses committed within the body of Franklin County in the state of Ohio. All right. We got their oath to find and present Michael McKee late of said county and December 30th within county of Franklin. Legal jargon, revised code, did purposely with prior calculation and design, premeditated, cause the death of Monique Tepe. All right. So specification 1 to count 1, firearm specification. And guys, I believe that's where the indictment, where they're showing this on the indictment is because he stole the firearm from the Tepes, which is burglary, and used that firearm to take their lives. The grand jurors further found and specified that Michael McKee had a firearm on or about his person or under his control while committing the offense and used it to facilitate the offense. That holds a penalty of 3 years here. All right. Then we got specification 2 to count 1, firearm specification. Again, carries 6 years. Grand jurors find and specify Michael McKee had a firearm that was equipped, guys, with a muffler or suppressor. All right. We know what that is. That's a silencer. That's what we call AKA a silencer. So that's why we didn't get reports of the 9mm like we talked about, because there was a suppressor. All right. That's another 6 years. We got 9 years right here that they added with the firearm. Okay. And then count 2. These are the big ones. The aggravated murder on December 30th on or about. The grand jury did find enough evidence prior with premeditation to cause the death of Spencer Tepe. All right. And then specification 1 to count 2, firearms, they double that again, 3 years and 6 years, firearm and a suppressor. We know the firearm was a 9mm. Now, count 3, aggravated burglary. At first, I would say, I don't know why this is, but it's because of the weapon, in my opinion. All right. It says it here on December 30th. We're not going to read this sworn, all this mumbo jumbo. Okay. The revised code, occupied structure in a separately secured or occupied portion of an occupied structure. When Spencer Tepe and Monique Tepe, a person other than the accomplice, was present with purpose to commit the structure or in separately secured or separately occupied structure of any criminal offense, and the offender inflicted physical harm on Spencer and Monique, or the offender had a deadly weapon to firearm or on his person or under his control. That's a burglary charge. The gun's coming from the house. All right. And then again, they've got the specification to 1, count 3, 3 years and 6 years for the gun and for the suppressor. All right. And then count 4, we got another aggravated M. And this must be for the second person because there are 2. There's Spencer and Monique. So he gets a charge for each one. And they got the firearm with the suppressor again. Count 5, we got another aggravated. So that's 3. Or no, there's 4 plus 1. And that is the revised grand jury, aggravated, same old thing. They just doubled everything. All right. And we'll talk about all that. We're going to break it down. I just wanted you to see the charging documents. All right. I call it charging document. It's the indictment. And then here you go. State of Ohio versus Michael McKee with the address, date of arrest. I'm glad they took out his social. And there it is. Count 1, aggravated. Count 2, aggravated. Count 3, aggravated burglary, aggravated murder. Oh, that's what it is. So count 1 and 2 are for Spencer and Monique and taking their life. Count 3 and 4 are for the aggravated burglary and murder, which is interesting. So they've got 4 and 5. He's got double counts for aggravated murder and then for the actual burglary. Interesting. Now, I don't see anything that they're asking for the death penalty at this time, but what does that mean? I don't know. I don't know what that means. But we're gonna break it down with Auntie Nancy and some lawyers. So let's do this real quick. Let's talk about what's next, and then we're gonna get into the background and the dating profile. He explains what's gonna happen next as criminal defense attorney in less than 2 minutes.
This will most certainly be litigated, and he will enter a not guilty plea to all of those counts, I can assure you.
As Michael McKee spends his first night in a Franklin County jail, he's one night closer to learning his fate. McKee's booked on 4 counts of aggravated murder, accused of killing Monique and Spencer Tepe in their Columbus home on December 30th.
Well, the first thing that'll be on his mind, and this is a presumption on my part, will be a bail, some sort of bond that makes sense in this case, one that hopefully he can make.
Columbus criminal defense attorney Sam Szymanski is not representing McKee, but speaks from his experience. A judge will determine whether McKee can bond out of jail and the conditions of his bond during his upcoming arraignment hearing.
It depends on the judge's comfort level regarding the circumstances, but given the fact that this man is a surgeon and has no criminal record, I presume, and again hasn't done anything to absent himself from the jurisdiction, it wouldn't be unreasonable. At least it wouldn't be an unreasonable request if he's granted bail to allow him to return home.
Court records reveal McKee lives in a complex in Chicago. Are there situations where he would not be allowed to return out of state?
For sure, a judge could say, hey, look, I'm going to grant bail, but rent an apartment here, have an ankle monitor, be under the auspices of...
I hope they do not let him get out on anything. And yes, a suppressor. He was really going a pro job. He thought not, right? And then he brought it back with him to his house, guys. Make that make sense. He even had the matching bullets. The ballistics report says so.
Our probation department, and you're not leaving Franklin County. It's possible.
Szymanski tells me the defense attorney on the case will also begin to look into the evidence. Columbus police say they found the gun used in the crimes on McKee's property.
And the bullets, guys. And I'm telling you right now I understand this. I was looking at it like, why is it aggravated murder and aggravated burglary. 2 counts each, 1 count for each person. And then they only charged once for the actual robbery. All right. So aggravated burglary is the taking the weapon and whatever else they found. And then the each count is for the person. 2 counts for Spencer and 2 counts for Monique. Now he's looking at life in prison with parole after 32 years, right? Times 2, I mind you. All right. And then 9 years for each count. So he's never getting out. And I hope they see him as a threat that he is.
And court records allege he used a silencer.
Stakes are incredibly high in this case and in every murder case, and it has to be treated with great attention and skill and dedication to trying to win. As you can rest assured, the prosecutor's office will be doing the same thing, along with the police.
So guys, if you don't have those type of locks on your doors, I suggest that you make sure your windows are locked, okay? Because this mofo went around the back and just hopped right in through the window. He didn't need a code, all right? That's why I put that up there so y'all can see what's going on. And again, if you missed it, I let you know about the about his new attorney. She's a bulldog, and guys, we don't want that. We don't want him getting off. So there's that as well. All right. There is his new mugshot, Dr. Michael McKee, and his new pit bull attorney that is qualified for a death penalty case. All right. All right. Let's keep going. Let's bring this out, and then let's talk about they call him Blockhead, Killer Smile, Surgeon Dazzles on dating app before shooting ex-wife and new hubby. Let's go, Mrs. Nancy Grace.
Get past this, Nancy. He did this because his kids were in the house.
Do you know how difficult it is to get your mitts on a silencer? All that.
Now, listen, Joseph Scott Morgan is also breaking it down, and what they say, a lot of experts are saying this, that he did this for revenge against the Tepes, left the children on purpose. All right. There's 222 people in here. Let's say a prayer that those children and everybody, the victims, they get justice they deserve. Yes, he got in through a window. They call him Roblox head, Blockhead, right? Killer Smile. Let's go.
And all that plotting. Breaking news. A killer smile. Truer words were never spoken. A surgeon dazzles. He beams his megawatt smile on the dating apps just before he travels nearly 400 miles to gun down his ex-wife and her new.
So I'm thinking, last ditch efforts. He already knew he got a malpractice suit. He killed the freaking patient that died days ago. These Spencer Monique Tepe were having their 5-year wedding anniversary, and it was on Facebook. He was looking at their videos and their Facebook and seething. All right. What's up, Indy Isham? Good to see you, my friend. All right.
New husband, according to police. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with.
And this came out last night. I wanted so badly to share it with you last night, but I had to go to work today, etc. So now we're here.
Wedding video. They were married and murdered in the same home. Married and murdered in the same home. This as the defendant, the vascular surgeon, awaiting extradition on multiple counts that have just been handed down. We uncover his dating apps. I mean, I can't wait to get a hold of his digital footprint. Now think about it. This is according to police. He's on these dating apps, pouring out his soul about how he wants to have.
And I'm telling you guys, he's pouring out his soul what he wants, but this guy is just a blockhead. All right. You can see the people on there. You can, the people that he's hanging around. I mean, who's this chick? He should have game. He's not a bad looking guy then, but what happened?
Children, how he loves hot yoga. And then he's watching her. There he is with a slew of lawsuits he's facing, including one guy with an amputated testicle, another with a catheter shard stuck in his leg.
Oh, my God.
He's talking about on the dating apps how he wants children, how he wants to settle down. Yet he's all alone. I wonder why. Looking at her wedding video. How many nights did he hunch over his computer screen watching Monique?
And that's what I said the very first time I played that wedding video for you. I told you guys, please be careful on Facebook and any other social media platform, because you don't know who's watching and you don't know who's seething about it. I've realized that now that I do true crime and I'm here with you guys. I realize there's a lot of people that hate me just because they don't like how I look. So be careful, because I guarantee you this monster watched again and again, and the digital footprint will show that.
Joyful in that wedding video, posting photos of her pregnant in front of the Christmas tree as he drones on dating websites about how he wants children one day. That said, now we learn about a silencer. Come on, I can't wait for the defense attorney, bring it on, to tell me this was not premeditated. Do you know how difficult it is to get?
Well, that's why the grand jury updated this case. They updated the charges to 2 each, from 3 charges to 5, because it is premeditated. You're not going to have a silencer if it's not, number one. And Nancy's right. It's hard to get a silencer unless you 3D print it.
Legally. As a matter of fact, just recently, a bill was passed in the middle of the night. Now, nothing good happens after midnight. Why is a House of Congress passing a bill in the middle of the night? Does that sound sneaky? It does to me. Because what they did was take away a $200 surcharge on buying silencers. So now anybody can have them, including, according to police.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. When did that change? MAB? My people that know ballistics? My gun experts? What? Is that just in that state? I don't think that's right. What?
This brilliant vascular surgeon, Michael McKee. Oh, excuse me. On the dating websites, he says, call me Mike. You know what? I'll just call you defendant. Straight out.
Now, look at the difference, guys. Look at and I'm not saying that this guy doesn't still look like a blockhead, but there's a stark difference between that picture that you see there and this picture. That's not even the same guy. I mean, it is the same guy, but I mean, look at the difference. That is a huge difference, guys, and scary when you think about it. Damn.
To Joseph Scott Morgan, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet on Amazon, star of the hit new podcast series, Body Bags with Joe Scott Morgan. But for my purposes,
come on in, guys,
investigator. What can you tell me about silencers as a vernacular for suppressors?
You know, Nancy, one of the fascinating things about suppressors, because contrary to what people think, they are not silencers. You cannot knock down in totality a supersonic round. That means a round that actually travels at the speed of sound or higher. It does knock it down a few decibels. Now, here's the interesting thing. When you purchase a suppressor, and it's suppressing the sound, right?
And listen, guys, you don't need much of a suppressor for a 9mm. It's really not that loud, but it is loud enough for a neighbor to hear, especially in the building that we saw. All right, multi-billion-dollar entity, and it does this crap sometimes. What are we talking about here? The freaking YouTube and StreamYard? Wow, I watched that. No silencer. Oh, there's a silencer. Who said that?
You have to be registered with the ATF. So the ATF absolutely has a record of this, unless this is something that was either purchased on the black market or something that he built, which people can do these. But here's one of the big keys with
3D printed.
It's not only that he's on the radar relative to the suppressor. You have to have a specific weapon platform. That means the handgun this thing was attached to, Nancy, it's got an external threaded barrel. So if you see someone that takes a suppressor, they have to literally screw it or attach it on. And those weapons are very specific. So from an investigative standpoint, we're talking about connecting the dots here.
Now, listen, and I love Joseph Scott Morgan. My goodness, do I love the way his brain works. But that's terrible. Chrissy says in Ohio, they're legal, but yeah, $200, who cares, right? For me, if I wanted a silencer, who gives a crap about a $200 tax? But you say they're only supposed to be used for hunting specific animals. He could have made it himself. It's so easy to 3D print a silencer, okay? I'm saying that from personal experience because I know, because I work in a mechanical engineering company where we can do that. You can 3D printer need to be banned, but you can't ban it because we have them. We have multiple 3D printers and you could do whatever you want. How can you regulate that? All right. I'm glad you're making peanut butter cookies and listening. Silencer gives me creeps as well. You don't understand the 3D printing? Oh my goodness. 3D printing gives you everything you want. You could print a gun, the whole thing. You just print that, buy the lower, and you're good to go. You could print anything you want. All right. Put it that way. Look at Luigi Mangione. He did the entire GUN with a 3D printer, if that says anything.
Relative to not just the suppressor, but also the pistol itself.
We are talking about the fact that a suppressor, silencer, was used in the murders of Monique and Spencer Tepe. And to Susan Hendricks joining us, investigative reporter, journalist, and author of a bestseller, Down the Hill, My Descent into the Double Murder in Delphi. Susan, many people didn't know about the allegation a suppressor was used, which requires a lot of forethought, right? You got to match it to your gun. You got to set it up. You've got to get it. Who needs a suppressor? Who needs a silencer? We learned about it in this indictment. Tell me about the indictment.
Yeah, Nancy, and that's an excellent point. He did plan it out. According to this indictment, charged with 4 counts of aggravated murder and 3 counts of the aggravated murder.
And I'm glad we went over that, and I'm glad they're going to talk with it. I knew Auntie Nancy would, right? I'm not anything. I just watch true crime and I report back to you. But that's what I wanted to know. Why was it so specific and times 4? Because it was 2 each. And that's very premeditated. Very, very, very. So anybody that does pay $200 for a suppressor and gets that tax, they're going to track you. I'm telling you, they're tracking that. And this guy is dumber than a box of rocks. And I know he's not that dumb. I think he's common sense dumb. And, well, he's a neurosurgeon, right? Can't be that dumb.
Include exactly that, having a silencer. And the 4th one includes just brandishing or showing the firearm. It appears he planned more of what to do rather than the aftermath of it.
We have gotten our mitts on the indictment, and that is where many people.
No, we don't. No. Brian Rambles, I'm not saying that anything was 3D printed from this case. All I'm saying is that you can 3D print anything you want, but I don't think he 3D printed that because you can get them in Ohio for $200 tax. I'm in California. You can't get shit in California for nothing. You could barely get a firearm. It takes weeks for them to approve it. You got to have this background check. So I said Luigi Mangione is confirmed that he printed it, 3D printed. This case, totally separate. I'm just telling you that can be done. Wyatt, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Smoking, my guy. What's up? Good to see you, buddy. You guys hit that like button for me, won't you? Get me in the algorithm. And thank you, Julie, for being a member for 13 months. All right. 13 months. Let's go.
People learn that a muffler, suppressor, silencer was used. I want to go back to Joe Scott Morgan. How does a silencer work for a layperson, if you could break that down? And would a silencer be registered on NIBIN, the NIBN, which is the National Integrated Ballistics Information? Could you explain how?
He's almost handsome right here, dare I say. Right? Look at everybody here. He looks like he's what? We saw the specs on him. He's probably 6'2" or something like that. 6'2", 6'3", the perfect average, right? Height, strong jaw, almost good looking here. What happened? Did revenge eat him up that much? Was he so mad that Monique just walked off, packed up, didn't tell him anything, that he would take their lives and leave the dog and the children so they could suffer the rest of their lives? That's what experts are saying.
Lay terms, does a silencer work? Don't get technical. And would there be a trace of it? Could it be listed on NIBIN?
Okay, let's take how this thing works in the first place. It's if you think about a silencer as like a can, shaped like a can, cylindrical, and you split it down the middle, it's got a series of, and there's different forms, but this is the basics. It's got a series of little baffles or fins that are in it. And so just imagine, if you will, that as that round is traveling down that barrel, okay, the sound of it cracking the sound barrier is actually being caught in these little fins. And so,
And guys, I wish I could show it to you. I wish I could just show you what it, I don't have a suppressor, but I have the whole thing I can demonstrate. I think you guys get it, right? It's gonna muffle the sound, especially when you're screwing it into the front of the barrel. It's gonna stop it from making the sound a bit, right? And then 9mm is not that loud anyway. All right. Mab says we will have to ask Dolly about the knowledge on this. No, I got the knowledge, my friend. What are you talking about? I am the COO of a mechanical engineering company, and we not only have like 10 3D printers, but we also print giant other parts in the Morisiki. We can print anything. So you could ask me about the knowledge on a suppressor and a 3D printer. I've been working there for 18 years. We make stuff. All right. So no, if you guys got questions, I'll try to answer them because yeah, I mean, I'm letting the chat come through to StreamYard. It's still lagging. Zeus, use them so they don't scare. Yeah, exactly. That's what they're saying. For some animals, you can use them. Micah will be a handsome date in prison. Yes, he does look like Johnny Bravo as well.
when the thing exits the end of the muzzle, you only have almost it is audible, but it is not like, if anyone has ever been near a weapon when it fires, it's not going to sound like a car backfiring. You might hear something that sounds just under the sound of a slamming door, perhaps. And of course, that's dependent upon the weight of the door. But as this thing travels down range, these little baffles inside the cylinder are catching that report, if you will. Now back to Nibbin. Nibbin is fascinating because most of the time with Nibbin, what they're doing is they're looking for question ballistic information. So if someone shot at a scene, they're collecting the casings. Remember back in Delphi where we had the casing that had.
And now the silencer is going to give its own markings on the bullets, right? Because now you got a separate piece. Johnny Bravo is a cartoon character that looks exactly like Dr. McKee.
Had the striations on it, and also they're collecting the actual projectile as well for the scratches on that surface. Now, as far as Nibbin holding.
Now listen, he's talking about the surfaces on the gun and the suppressor. All right. This is really, it's not him getting married, it's them. What do you mean? Is this really him getting married, Jay? No, that is, I'm confused. Jay and the old gangster. Oh shit. No, I have weapons. I just I like the right to bear arms.
Suppressor information, I'd probably say not. However,
yeah, that's Spencer and Monique getting married. I'm not sure where you are.
That thing is managed by the ATF, and all of these suppressors have to go through or the approval has to go through the ATF, Nancy.
You know, to Dan Murphy joining us, former NYPD Detective Sergeant, conducted hundreds of interrogations and investigations, co-host of a hit podcast, Gold Shields, and author of Workplace Safety. Dan, thank you for being with us. What goes through your mind, just off the top of your head, when you go to a crime scene or you arrest someone and you find on their person a silencer?
That person is using it or intending to use it for criminal activity. He wants to mask the sound of the weapon being fired. Now, in this case, we know from the history of the case that there was not much in terms of weaponry heard by people outside. Weapons are very, very loud. Handguns are very loud, especially inside in closed spaces. You're talking about 140 decibels as possible, which is louder than the loudest rock concert you've ever been to. So that sound would alert people on the outside. The presence of a silencer indicates somebody typically wants to use it in a way that no one would know he had used it. It would not be alerting people outside or in the vicinity.
Right. But guys, again, if you compare this to the Delphi murders, a huge key piece of evidence was them finding that bullet that was not spent, that got kicked out, that had the same striations as the gun that Richard Allen had in the Delphi murder and hadn't even been shot. Just because it comes out of the barrel, there are certain markings that you can see. And yes, guilty of crime are firm supporters and defenders of both the First and the Second Amendments. Absolutely. Now, let me show you who Johnny Bravo is real quick. And It's funny because they even have a Johnny Bravo like movie look-alike thing. So this is Johnny Bravo, guys. He's a freaking cartoon character. That's what we think that this man looks like, is Johnny Bravo. And there are multiple different pictures of Johnny Bravo, but and there's also multiple different characters that he looks like. So when you ask who Johnny Bravo is, that's him right there. That looks like McKee. All right. Well, now you know who Johnny Bravo is. There he is. All right. So you want to compare that to that to that. All right. That to that. There it is. All right. You guys in agreement? All right. Let's keep going then, because we've got a big show. Let's get this back to Auntie Nancy. All right.
Joining us now, veteran trial lawyer, former felony prosecutor,
Aw,
now
thank you.
civil and criminal defense attorney, Daryl Cohen. Daryl, thank you for being with us. Daryl, when you were a prosecutor, we would practically dance up and down the halls with glee if we found a silencer on a crime scene. There's nothing good about a silencer, much less if it was in somebody's car, in their backpack, hidden in their trunk, or still attached to the weapon at the crime scene. A silencer. There's nothing good about a silencer. I mean, you see people driving around in pickup trucks. They've got their gun proudly displayed on the right behind them, right?
And, you know, if you're a hunter, I can understand that with your gun being proud and displayed. Yeah, he also looks like Stretch Armstrong as well. Also Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, I can get down with that. I can get down with all that. All right. And yes, they said 14-hour round trip, 7 hours there and 7 back. Now we looked at it and it was 5 hours and 43 minutes, but that's with no traffic. So it's wild. That's a wild thing and very premeditated.
But a silencer, oh, no. You don't advertise that you're using a silencer. There's nothing good about a silencer.
Nancy, as a prosecutor, I love silencers. That was an additional witness that was saying the owner of this silencer, muffler, suppressor, whatever you want to call it, is guilty. Thank you so much, because I don't have to worry about giving the silencer its rights. I don't have to worry about cross-examination. It is what it is, and it is a fabulous witness. Absolutely.
Hell yeah, it is. People don't just have those, and boy, will they convict you in a hot minute. All right. I mean, even the striations, some people think Richard Allen is innocent, but those ballistics match the gun in his house. So where do you got this?
Loved it. Didn't happen often, but when it did, it was terrific.
You know, Daryl Cohen, the first time I had a case with a silencer, it was a drug lord. And it was this beautiful, posh high-rise on Peachtree, right on Peachtree, you know, in front of God and everybody. And as a matter of fact, the co-defendant in that case went on to raid a room, a hotel room with O.J. Simpson, Charlie the Tuna, Charles Ehrlich. It was his place. We performed a search, and there was a silencer. I had never had one in a case. I knew it meant a drug lord. I knew it meant somebody in the mob. That's who uses silencer, and there it was. I couldn't believe it, and it spoke volumes, just as you said. Now, put on your defense attorney hat. Why does this vascular surgeon have a silencer? Why?
Nancy, I would advise my client, if he was my client, KYD BMS. Keep your damn big mouth shut.
Yes, keep your mouth shut and don't bring the murder weapons home, man. What is up with that? Right? Again, that's a link to the crime. And of course, of course you can possess a suppressor in Texas. Why would I ever think differently of that? Sunshine Lady, good to see you, my friend. You guys do me a favor. There's 235 people. If you can hit that like button, it's free. Also, if you guys have the means to get a membership, gift the membership, super chat, super sticker. I'm going to gift the membership if anyone wants to match me. All right.
Because there's no excuse to have a silencer. There's no reason to have a silencer.
Unless you're a hunter.
There's no reasonable explanation to have a silencer. Unless, of course, you didn't want people to know, or anyone outside of the immediate target area, the crime scene, to know what's going on. So that's why as a silencer, if he was my client, I would keep his mouth shut and I would try to dance around and ignore the silencer. And when the direct evidence came out, the direct questions to law enforcement, I would ask them.
Now, yes, there's a possibility. I'm going to go with that. Using a silencer allowed him to drive back to Illinois. However, we also don't know that, but we also know that that's probably going to be the key factor in his conviction is the bullets, the suppressor, and that gun that he took, guys. All right, guys, if you guys got a membership, awesome. If you got gifted one, if you want to gift one, awesome, and thank you.
No questions, because in this case, less is
Well, Daryl,
more.
I thought your first move would be to try to have it suppressed.
Thank you.
Oh, that was an illegal search. Blah, 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 blah. Fruit of the poisonous tree. Blah, 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 blah. Aren't you going to try to get this thing thrown out so the jury never finds out about it?
Of
It's
course,
in the indictment.
But
Yeah,
I'm
it's in
making
the
the
indictment.
assumption that Judge X, whoever is presiding over the trial, is going to say, thank you very much. I appreciate that motion to suppress, but overruled.
You know what, Daryl Cohen?
Yeah, they're not going to drop that out. They're not. The grand jury has enough evidence, and I'm sure they do. I'm sure they have ballistics and images and all that. This is coming in. This is a key piece of evidence, guys. Look at what Richard Allen got convicted on. It was much less than this.
In those crime scene photos, the drug lord that had the high rise, like 500 feet down from where Elton John had his high rise on Peachtree Street, in the crime scene photo, there was a suppressor beside a giant dildo.
Oh my God.
And
What is
the
she
defense tried
touching?
really hard to keep that out. But I had to have it in evidence to show the suppressor. Okay. So that said, this suppressor is going to come in to evidence. And I don't care what you or any other defense attorney tries to do.
And of course it is, because they gave it its own charge, guys. The indictment clearly explains that there's a suppressor or a firearm muffler suppressor. Now, we may see evidence of the suppressor, and it may be way different than we're all imagining, but they put a 6-year specification on that muffler or suppressors. It's not going to go away. They made it its own count. It's going to be a key piece of evidence here.
These somersaults you turn and cartwheels and back bends, it's coming in. So you probably heard that muffled sound Joe Scott Morgan was describing as he, McKee, according to police, shoots her husband in bed and then shoots her.
Damn.
Yeah, it's coming into evidence. Listen.
Multiple weapons were taken from the property of McKee. And there's a preliminary link from our NIBIN to one of the weapons that ties it to the homicides.
Local and Columbus police in and out of McKee's 12th floor Chicago apartment with boxes of potential evidence, lugging it down to a Columbus PD crime lab van in the
Look at
underground.
that. There it is. I mean, example of it. This is an example. I'm glad they're showing it, because this looks like a Smith & Wesson to me. It's definitely not a Glock. It looks like a Smith & Wesson with the suppressor. But again, guys, this is an example. It is not the actual one. Right. And then we have Stretch Armstrong.
If you can imagine that. No, the key to this, Nancy, is going to be the internal barrel of this weapon. And Nancy, whatever they found there,
And the
they took
striations.
those weapons immediately. As soon as they got them, they went to the lab and they did preliminary ballistic testing on those weapons. And if he's got multiple calibers and they find, let's say, 9mm shell casings at the scene of the murder, they're going to narrow it down to that one weapon, take it and fire it. And they've got some kind of scientific confirmation in their mind that they've got a match here.
Now, I love ballistics. I could sit there for days and listen to Joseph Scott Morgan talk about the ballistics and how it affects the striations. And I mean, we can go deep into it. I wish I could. I'm a nerd like that.
Hey, let me follow up on something that you said that I did not know. You said that silencers in some studies are shown to increase the velocity, the speed of the bullet. Did you say that?
Yep. Yes, I did.
Okay.
I sure did.
Can you imagine this? Just keep this scene. He gets, according to police, of course, he's innocent until proven guilty under the law. He, according to police, and he's huge now.
Wow.
In fact, when I was doing an online chat the other night when we were covering.
What up? Shout out to Turtle Gang for becoming a member. Turtle Gang. What's up? From Dolly Vision, right? What's up? Big hugs, Clar, to you.
Tepe. People asked if he had steroided up, and I'm going to show some before and after shots in just a moment.
Yeah.
But back to what you just said, Joe Scott,
Now we're going to talk about the steroids that my friend Clark has been talking about since day one, right? A lot of things are predictable. Guys, you know what? You guys in chat on day one of this case absolutely said he probably had a suppressor, all right? This guy is a dumb criminal.
Him standing foot of the bed. This is already going to be a close range shot, which is, tears you up, tears your body up. But with a silencer that increases the velocity at close range?
Yeah, there's a possibility that it could, according to the scientific studies that have been conducted. And a lot of that has to do with the compression that's contained within that. Some people refer to them as cans, contained within that can that is pressing it downrange toward your target area.
Right.
But here's the thing, and I can't get past this, Nancy. He did this because his kids were in the house. That's why he did it. He didn't want to alert them to this.
I don't know, Joe Scott.
I mean, we're thinking about that. It could be that the dog could have started barking. The neighbors were right on top of them the way the houses were. So, but I do think that he absolutely took the life of the Tepes and left the children out of a revenge plot.
That he did it to protect the children. If he had any feeling toward the children, he would not have murdered their mother and their father. I think it was so witnesses like, you see how the houses are close together? Let's see a shot of the neighborhood. There's tall.
Yes, Miss Nancy. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I haven't listened to this one at all, guys. I did all my research today, and then I went back to the Nancy episode to watch with you guys in real time. I just hadn't had a chance. All right. He tried the Red Bull can suppressor. The test results, was unhappy with the results. Oh, what is up, Midnight Lays? Working on reviews, but I'm listening. Great show. Well, thank you. Appreciate you.
They're almost like row houses. If he had not had a suppressor,
look at that. See?
Then I think the next door neighbors would have heard it ringing out it.
Absolutely. And I think that's what it was for. It did buy time to get him back to Illinois as well.
3 a.m. Oh, this video is from our friends at WSYX. Another thing to Dan Murphy, and then I'm going to go to Karen Stark, our shrink, to figure out why he kept all this as a memento. But Dan, we all know that this one is on Bumble, but I imagine.
Oh man, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. What happened? What did I do? All right, we're gonna go to this guy here. Hold on. I don't want to go that far back. What was that?
That whole kidnapping crew and murder crew we caught in California that held the identification of every person they ever kidnapped and tortured. So when we rescued victims,
wait. What?
Wow. So she's saying, why in the heck did he keep a trophy? And then he's like, because people, especially psychopaths that want revenge, do that. And that's what he's comparing it to. A victim that was rescued. And anyway.
But every person, they kept a memento of every person. Oh, I would have had a field day. Just lay each driver's license out on the jury rail. Just let them sit there. And you know what?
Welcome, Sunshine Lady. And you got to remember, all these serial killers do this. They keep trophies. Ultimately, they end up getting caught, and they don't care as long as they can relive that kill. All right. And thank you, Sunshine Lady, again. But how dumb not to ditch a gun on his way back. He had enough time to get rid of it. Heck, he lives close to Lake Michigan, right? Nancy gives a damn is busted. I love it. I love it. Look at her. Look at that face. I don't want her to be mad at me.
Drink it in for the jury. But why do you think, I'm going to go back to Karen Stark, but why do you think, as a seasoned detective with NYPD, why do they keep them? They're damning evidence.
this guy thinks he's so smart that he's not going to get caught. So he's not worried about evidence in court. And sometimes very smart people do very stupid things. But in this case, I have a feeling he just liked the gun. And he figured, I got away with this. Nobody's going to link me to her. We've been divorced for years. He thought he had outsmarted everyone.
Hey, he outsmarted me. I'll say that much. On episode 1, I looked at this marriage and I was like, nah, no, next. Boy, or was I wrong.
And he liked that one. And it represented triumph over her.
With me is Dan Murphy, former NYPD detective sergeant, conducted hundreds of homicide investigations.
Now, I think he was buying time, but he didn't give a shit about them finding him, go back to the car, and then, because there's no way, what could he have done? What could he have done to stay off the radar? He could have flown there, and then he could have, rented a car, but he went in his own car. They tracked him back to where his car was parked, and then they tracked that car back to his house. over 5 hours away, 7 hours possibly. That was him, guys.
Author and co-host of hit podcast Gold Shields. Dan, I want to take what you said and go back to Karen Stark. Karen, I want to talk about this murder weapon. If LE, law enforcement, had not gotten that gun match, that shell casing match, and there's going to be a bullet match, a bullet found either in the bodies, lodged in a mattress, lodged somewhere in that room, maybe in
they already have one.
The wall, maybe under the bed. They've got a bullet.
They do.
Right? But they use the casing first to make the match, probably because the bullet was still being fished out of the bodies at the morgue.
True.
If we didn't have that match, we may not have very much. But now,
and that's why I'm telling you the key pieces of evidence are the suppressor and that 9mm, of course, with the bullet casings that he just left. And then you can't get him out of the body. He shot Monique once and Spencer multiple times. We still don't know the exact number, but boy, did he leave a ton of evidence behind.
We've got a ballistics match.
Yep.
Now,
it's like
why
a fingerprint,
did
guys.
he keep the gun? Do you think he put so much love and care into procuring the silencer, matching it with the gun? I wonder if they're going to end up, Karen Stark, finding him on video at some gun shop, or find his order online, getting a silencer that will marry to a 9mm, that he put so much thought and care into that it became like his little pet. I don't have the right words, you do. And holding it, caressing it, looking at it, reminded him of that moment, so he could relive the moment. He towered over his ex-wife in her bedroom with her new husband, and he could relive the moment he saw the terror on her face as he killed her husband and then turned the gun on her. Why else keep it, Karen?
Well, Nancy, you absolutely hit it on the head. This is somebody, first of all, he's a narcissist. So he's not thinking about what if I get caught. He's never going to get caught in his mind. But here it is. He was able to, after all these years, building up resentment, threatening her, he was able to keep the symbol that he was successful in getting back at her and killing her, and he could relive it. He could see.
And guys, they've already seen this evidence. They already have his digital footprint. They know that he's probably watched this. You know, they didn't write it down, but over and over, he was stalking their social media, in my opinion.
And if you think about it, this is also a very organized killer. He's not somebody who went in there, didn't know what he was doing, and all of a sudden decide, well, maybe I'll kill them. He planned the whole thing.
Hell yeah, he did.
The gun, the silencer. Yeah. It all shows that this man was meticulous, narcissistic, knew exactly what he was doing, and enjoyed looking at the success, his win over this couple.
Okay, Karen Stark, this is not a pretty picture I'm about to conjure up in your mind, but according to many forensic studies, killers keep mementos for sexual reasons. They will keep a woman's underwear, even her driver's license, her jewelry.
It's more than just that, though. It's more than the sexual. I don't know why she's bringing that up, and this isn't motivated, but I guess we'll see the answer, or we'll hear the answer. I mean, in general, many killers, especially those that are repeat or serial, absolutely keep mementos, but not necessarily for sexual. Let's see what she says.
Even the suppressor and this gun, which is forever connected to, inextricably linked to the murders for sex fantasies. I don't get you with a gun.
Well, Nancy, let's think about how a gun is often used, symbolized, right? As
do I have to? I guess I do.
Yeah, and
it's a symbol of power, right? A lot of people say they shouldn't keep. A lot of people are afraid to even own one because it makes you feel powerful, and it is a powerful thing. If you have it and you get into an argument, you're more likely to use it if you have it, obviously. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to say, "I don't like this sandwich." What'd you say? I'm gonna cap you. That's what ends up happening. Too many people having guns and don't know how to use them, and their emotions are not regulated.
All of the men that you mentioned, all the killers that you mentioned, they used their tokens for gratification. They got off on them. They could look at it over and over again and do it, just as you said.
Yes.
And I have no doubt, because he kept it.
Again, I hadn't seen this yet. Serial killers do the same thing. They're the major group of people that do that. And especially Dahmer was a huge one of them that kept heads in his fridge and the penis of him and the skull and also BTK. Disgusting.
And held on to it, didn't care if he'd get caught, that
There
he
you
used
go.
it the same way. After all, he thought about her for years. He didn't really have another relationship or involvement. She moved on. She was his possession. And now he could look at it and get off on the fact that he had her. He kept her, he killed her, and here's the proof.
Hi. All right, we're not going to do this. Back here.
100 of them hiding behind the wall. Guarantee he's on another one I haven't uncovered yet. Tell me about his dating app.
Absolutely. And that.
Okay, cool. So we'll just recap at the beginning of the show. We saw his ex-girlfriend speaking out. We heard about him moving through going through the window, which I heard in a news clip, and I heard in chat with Nancy saying it. Again, we haven't got another press conference, but we're talking about him being extradited to Ohio, charges being upgraded, and we know he's got a silencer. And his ex-girlfriend, now we're talking about his dating app.
Aligned, I believe, with who he pretended to be and who he really was. At first, I did a double take thinking, is that the same guy? He looks completely different. All of these hobbies, I'd like to travel, kind of trying to lure women into this, a facade on who he was. But he looks very different to me. And I bet if Monique saw this, she would think, what, that's not the person I married. And she did tell her close friends and relatives that she was afraid of him. But there he is on the dating app. I like to travel. Like you said, Nancy, hot yoga. It's all BS.
The last thing I want to think about is comparing that hulking frame of his.
I bet you the women are so glad they dodged him. And I bet you there's a handful of them because he seems like one of those guys that would just kind of be collecting women, not serious about anybody, but just for his own sake, right? His own keepsake.
Allegedly lumbering down the alley behind Monique and Spencer's home with him and a pair of those little shorts that guys wear in hot yoga. I don't even want to think about that. Now, in the dating profile, it paints McKee as a young 32-year-old surgeon. Lie. And it's full of details aimed at women to interest them. 6'2", maybe. He is beaming in the photograph, showing off his tan, suggesting a real outdoor.
Which is wild, though, because here it says 32. So I don't know when this profile, because he's not 32, he's 39. I wonder if he was still using the younger age. Interesting.
Wearing a lilac sweater.
Now, listen, most women are going to look at this guy and look at that jaw and his nice teeth, and a vascular surgeon from Ohio State University. He likes art and yoga. Fake AF, guys. Be careful.
For a white button down, posing for some reason with a kid's lunchbox, which shows the name Mike and a dinosaur. I guess that's because he's Michael and asked people to call him Mike. Meaningful work, increased free time for new things, i.e. you. Hot yoga, less flexible. Well, you know what? According to what we're learning, he climbed in the half window of a basement at ground level. Suggests foreign travel, global entry. You don't.
All right, you guys just heard that. Who's the lady that asked me, where did you hear that, Jay? She just said he climbed in from the ground floor to get in. So let me put that again. All right, he likes hot yoga and to climb into people's windows and do double homicides, commit them.
Flexible. Well, you know what? According to what we're learning, he climbed in the half window of a basement at ground level.
All right, half level through the basement. Like I said earlier, there you go. He came in through that back door in the window. All right, he didn't have a key, didn't have a code. That's what he did. I'm glad we're finding this out because it was driving me nuts how he got in.
Suggests foreign travel, global entry. You don't have global entry to go from Georgia to Florida. And likes to ride a motorcycle. Does he actually think that's macho? You know, Susan Hendricks, do you know what police call motorcycle drivers? Future organ donors. So a lot of women may not find that dashing and exciting. He goes on and says a pro of dating him is, quote, I've perfected the chocolate chip cookie. What is he doing, Karen Stark? Help me. Now, I promise you,
We only have 154 likes, but we have 269 people in chat. Come on, hit that like button. It's free. Get yourself a membership, super chat, super sticker. Come on, but the likes are free.
If I saw that, I would be attracted to the chocolate chip cookie part. Karen Stark. He lists art, design, basketball, football, skiing.
Yep. Foxy
Location set as
driver.
LA. That's not where he was. It's two truths and a lie. I've cycled to, from, that's what he said, Pacific to the Atlantic, went 8 full seconds on rodeo and drink water when I'm thirsty. Okay, help me out, Karen Stark. All this is a big lie. Can you imagine the unsuspected women that may have signed up to meet this guy, an alleged double killer?
I'm telling you, Nancy, if you interview a lot of women who go on dating apps, they have to be very careful, and they know it just because of guys like him. You would think, if you read this, maybe he's a lonely man and he's really looking for companionship and building up his ego. But the truth is, that is not who he is. He's a man who has wanted revenge for years. He doesn't want to start a new life. He wants to get revenge on the ex-wife.
And I'm telling you guys, it's like he was just getting through the day period, especially towards the end. And yes, guys, the holidays were coming up. Their 5-year anniversary was coming up, but we saw their marriage all over everything. He was declining in the practice. He had lawsuits coming down, and he disappeared. They were looking for him to serve him with the lawsuit, and they couldn't find him. So he was already going off the deep end, and he was triggered AF, guys.
And this is all about building him up. It has nothing to do with being lonely or wanting another person. And you could see it from all the lies he created. This isn't him. This is his image of him.
In his dating app, he talks about how he wants children, but he's alone. He's running from multiple lawsuits, including one guy who had to have his testicle amputated, another guy claiming he had a part of a catheter stuck in his leg. Ouch.
And remember, we just got an update at the beginning of the show that his patient died. The patient that he was working on 2 days before his arrest, guys.
After surgery. So he's alone, running from lawsuits, running from process servers. And he watches this over and over.
And over, 100
From
times.
day one, I knew you were something special. I had quite a journey to get to you. Countless bad.
And guys, this doesn't even look like a home video of somebody being married. Rob did a fantastic job. Beautiful. Like weddings make me, they always make me get all like misty and teary. I love the sweet sentiment. These two looked as perfect as can be, and that's what he saw. And I believe that's what he was seethed over for years.
Couple dates, wrong relationships, and waterfalls of tears. But it was worth every cringing second because it led me to you. Throughout all of this, I knew that God was guiding me to my person.
Aww.
And that when I met him, it would be the most magical thing ever. And boy, is that an understatement. I finally found my lobster, and it honestly couldn't be a person with a more beautiful heart. I will love you forever, and I'm so lucky to be Mrs. Tepe.
How many times, Daryl Cohen, will his digital footprint show me? You're the veteran trial lawyer. If he looked at that even once.
And I'm sure he looked at it many times. Guys, that was beautiful. You got to admit, it was beautiful. And it's heartbreaking. But I got to say this. I did not want the Tepes to have brought that on themselves by doing something nefarious. So in the beginning, we were looking at Spencer and Monique and saying, are they swingers? Did someone kill them out of jealousy? Were they taking money? Were they doing drugs? I'm so glad we don't have to say anything bad about those victims. I think he killed them to see her happy. It's unbelievable. And those children, and many experts are saying he did it because he wanted the revenge, and that's the ultimate revenge, to leave the children without a mother and father for the rest of their lives.
I get to play it in front of the jury.
That's all we need, Nancy. That's
so
all the prosecutor
guys.
needs. Actually, less is more. In this case, one time only, OTO. They got it. The jury, if it goes that far, will have it, and the jury will have everything else. And piece by piece.
And you know what, Daryl? If a portion of the wedding video is played, then the jury has a right to look at the whole thing, because you can't selectively take bits and pieces, right?
Absolutely.
So that gives me an evidentiary basis to put in the whole wedding video.
And
Oh yeah, and I'm sure they will, guys. That's going to hit hard with those jurors and the evidence. But now that he has the death penalty qualified, his new lawyer, I think he's going to take it all the way. He's going to delay and put together a defense of a lifetime, guys.
what are we going to see? A motive for murder, a motive to destroy his ex-wife, to destroy her husband, and at the same time, destroying their kids.
Hey, Coffee and Dog, what's up from California to Vermont? Let's keep going. I packed a lot in here today, didn't I?
Working on us. And lastly, I vowed to do my best to always keep making you laugh because your smile is my favorite thing. I love you.
I mean, Daryl Cohen, you said put that up as motive.
Now, the kids could have passed away too, but listen, Holly, experts are saying that this was a revenge plot, and he purposely took their lives and said these little kids are going to be lost, but the other parents are going to have a bunch of trauma. So I'm going to take the lives of them and leave the children. All right. And Carly's here. She says, trust no man. Ha 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 ha. Do you know Lana TT is a reason why 10 days later? What? Do you all know that Lana of TT is a reason why 10 days later? What do you mean, Brian Rambles? Let us know. Cops had to release about the wrong. Yes, they did. They went to the wrong house, and I saw the body cam of them going to the wrong house. All right, let me know in chat what y'all are talking about, because StreamYard doesn't put you guys, it's not putting the comments in here fast enough.
While he's putting on Bumble, I want children, and he's sitting alone eating his TV dinner hunched over one of those trays. Can you even imagine that? And he sees that Spencer Tepe on his wedding day, Spencer and Monique murdered in the same home in which they were married. And that.
Oh, you talking about Lana, the one that's been covering every piece of this? She FOIA'd it? Okay. All right. Legit.
Wedding video, which was online, shows you various parts of their home that he could figure out from this. He could figure out the layout of the home. Hey, Daryl, what about when Monique said she was...
Got it. You know, this case has been progressing very quickly along with Plunder, right? Plunder and Lana have been putting shit out left and right, and law enforcement's like, gotta put it out. We gotta put it out before the FOIA comes. Okay, that makes sense, Brian. Thank you for letting me know that. I hear you.
Saying that she compared Spencer to countless bad Bumble dates. Bumble? Really? And I've got his Bumble profile. Wrong relationships. Gee, I wonder who she's talking about. Waterfalls of tears. It was worth every cringing second because it led me to you. So has McKee figured out?
That doesn't even look like him. Again, the many faces of Dr. McKee. That doesn't look like him with Monique. My goodness. What happened?
This other person who I have seen in the video. Oh, we have so much. As a defense lawyer, I wouldn't touch him with a 1,000-foot pole. He's nuclear. He is absolutely the worst. But the good thing is...
Hey, Dave Mack, I want to follow up on what Daryl Cohen, trial lawyer, is saying. Speaking of, if I can't have you, no one will, that whole mentality. Isn't it true, Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter, that in various written missives from McKee to Monique, he's in this
All right, guys. I just came back on through my phone. I don't know what happened, and I can't even control this. I don't know what happened to StreamYard. It just everything crashed out. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to say goodbye. We don't know how to. I don't know any of that. I don't know what to do here. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me show you my StreamYard. Out. I cannot get it to go back. So I guess I'm going to end this. I can't get back on. StreamYard just completely took a dump on me. And yeah. All right, guys, there's still 206 people in here. I wish I could wrap it up a little bit better. Panda Ann says, and Brian says, try restarting once more. All right, I'm gonna try once more. Give me a second. Let me try one more time. We still got 200 people here. I don't know what happened. Dang it, man. My phone's working. I got you on my phone, but I can't share everything on my phone, guys. I know, Julie and Brian. You guys can see me, right? Can you see me? Can you guys see the green screen there? This is basically all I can do on my phone is like I can do that. I can see your comments. The Russians are coming. Oh, stop it, Since. Yeah, it doesn't let me do anything. This is garbage. I'm restarting my computer. If you give me another second, I'll see if I can come in. If not, guys, we've been here for an hour and 43 minutes, and I apologize. Y'all have been wonderful tonight. I think this is the first time that's ever happened where it just shut down and never came back on. I just want it to work. I'm singing for you guys. We're behind the scenes, guys. Look at that. You see the stuff? Look at my toys. You guys like seeing behind the scenes anyway. Look at that. I'm waiting for it to restart. I thought I'd show you, but again, sorry. I am going to see if it starts back up so I can finish, and if not, then I will be back tomorrow. Sorry about that. I never want that to happen. No. Love you guys. All right. Oh, shoot. Here it goes. All right. Let me back in, and bam. I'm on, guys. I'm on. I'm going to add one and remove this one. Add. Let me shut this down, guys. Hold on. I don't know how to get this off. All right, let me end. No, I don't want to end the stream. Hold on. How do I get out of here? Can you guys see me? I'm going to turn this whole phone off. Hold on. All right, guys. I'm here. Can you hear me? I know all the toys. You see them? All right, let's get back to it. I got it. I'm here. We're good. We can do it again. We can finish this. If you guys want to come in, can you see me? Can you guys let me know if you could see me so we could wrap this up? I'm still going. All right. I see you guys. I see the stream and I am back on. So let's get to it. Sorry about that. I've got it. Let's finish that episode, guys, and wrap this up. All right. I'm trying. Thank you guys for being patient with me. I think you're more patient with me than I actually am with myself. So let's remove this and put this here and let's finish this up, guys. All right, we got it. Let's go.
He continued to do that, Nancy, to continue to put his arms out there and say, you're mine. Yeah, we're divorced and you're moving on, but you are mine. I could not believe that he was still pushing.
All right. Are we all back? Are we all here together? Can you guys see me? Brian gifted a membership. Thank you. You see me. Tech sucks. I see Deborah and Brian and Norma and Synth. I love you guys. You're amazing. All right, Mo. I'm good. I'm out. No, don't go, Total Avid. Don't do it. All right, let's finish this up together. I'm just playing with you.
That in everything that he had. You put that in writing, Nancy, and you're stamping it. It's different than just saying it out loud. He wrote, "You're my wife."
After the breakup. Hey guys, I got to show you one more thing. The video we pulled after the live chat I was doing the other night during our program.
Tell us, Nancy.
Someone named at ROTTRUAI. Notice this. No.
All right, this is awesome. Now, guys, if I still have there's still 204 people in here, hit that like button, share it. We had a quick hiccup, but now we're good. Julie's here. Curly Blue is here. All right, y'all are still here. Let's take a look at what they caught. All right, this is him right here. Remember, he's 6'2", and kind of bulky.
Notice the pull to the right.
All right, right here.
Okay, and we've seen
the pull to the right.
A lot of very distinctive gaits, and I've used them in prosecutions. Best example in a bank robbery where a guy was slew-footed. But the viewer was right and noticed it first. See him pull to the right, pull to the right, pull to the right. That's going to come in as evidence. And you know another thing I noticed, Susan Hendricks? Oh, that video is from...
And I did want to see how he walked, because when I saw that originally, I was like, well, they're going to find the person that was walking and they're going to match the walk like they did to the bridge guy, remember? But I'm so glad we have more evidence than that bridge guy, because that's still debatable. We still have people saying Richard Allen's innocent.
Our friends at WBNS. This guy, McKee, no idiot. He started being on the front page of the paper in the first grade for winning an academic honor.
He's
Then a presentation
shackles.
to the Secretary of State. Then he went on to play varsity football. He was in the top 5, not 5%, but the top 5 in his class. I mean, this guy is super smart.
He is super smart, but his intelligence only goes so far. And that ego, I'm sure he's got this fragile little ego down there.
Absolutely. And I spoke to a
shame,
guy who
man.
played football with him in high school and talked to him on the phone. He didn't want to be named, but he said that McKee's adoptive parents, he was adopted, were very nice. He was to himself, though, very quiet, doesn't remember.
So he was adopted. I think a lot of you guys know that. He was adopted, a vascular surgeon, a little bit shallow, probably with a giant ego. You know, a lot of kids that are adopted have a syndrome, right? It's like an imposter syndrome. It's not really, but it's like they don't feel like they fit in ever. So I wonder if all of that will play a part in this.
Remember him dating and all, kind of to himself. Of course, they were shocked, but smart, highly intelligent. He did say that several times, but really kind of a loner. It stood out to me.
Well, he's making headlines again. As we go to air tonight, he is en route back to home turf. The extradition process is happening to answer up on multiple felony charges. The case is still being built by both the state and the defense. If you know or think you know anything, please dial 614-645-2.
Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. Any evidence, any cameras, anything. All right, we're not done yet because I still want to. I got a few things to show you. I got to put this up. The former colleagues, remember, these are the people that called in. They called for the welfare check. And I don't even know if I showed the welfare check on here where they knocked on the wrong door. I'm going to play this and I'm going to show you that, but since we're still here,
Good night, friends and colleagues.
since I was able to get back in.
Dr. Spencer Tepe and his wife, Monique.
Our Lindsay Buckingham spoke with 2 women who worked alongside him, and they want us to know who Spencer and Monique truly were.
For 8 years at Stone Creek Dental Care in Ashland, Julie Radaba and Michelle Clark were greeted by Dr. Spencer Tepe.
Every time he walked in the office, he was always in a good mood.
Remember, these are the people that were so insistent on getting a hold of them, especially Monique, right? We kind of thought I thought it was suspicious in the beginning because they were only missing for an hour, or he was, and they were all up in arms. And we were like, why is that? Wait, did they have something to do with it? But no, they didn't. They were genuinely concerned.
And said good morning to everybody. He just had a happy presence about him all the time.
That presence and his signature laugh filled every room.
It was just loud, but it was awesome.
His impact reaching far beyond the office.
He just loved his patients. He really cared about his dentistry.
After working together nearly a decade,
You become more than just coworkers.
closeness showing up in everyday moments, even the silly ones.
You couldn't embarrass him. I mean, there was a time when she was working with him over a patient, and accidentally the water syringe squirted him in the forehead.
He had water dripping. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He just started laughing. He's like, oh my God.
Spencer and his beloved wife, Monique, were building a beautiful life. Julie and Michelle felt lucky to be a part of it.
And Dr. Tepe and Monique, they loved soccer. Both of them played. We actually went to a soccer game, watched the crew one time with Mo and Dr. Tepe, and just an awesome guy.
Spencer left the office last summer, yet their bond never did.
Just hard not being able.
Again, I'm so glad we didn't have to hear something terrible about these beautiful people. I'm so glad. I may they rest in peace, and may the children get justice, along with the dentist, the complete everybody that is intertwined with these people. May they get justice, because a lot of people love them.
To just text him. I mean, he texts us on our birthdays, on our birthday, happy birthday, on the holidays. You know, we kept in contact
until the very end.
Probably just like a couple days before even of the incident, he texted us a picture of his family. My comment back to him was just like, you guys look so happy.
Yeah.
Which makes this so hard.
Yesterday, you know, the services was amazing. It was beautiful.
I
And
know.
that helped.
Some of his friends
Yes.
spoke. Some of Monique's friends spoke. Everybody's jam-packed into this room, and we were literally, elbow to elbow.
The loss is still sinking in, but they want the world to remember Spencer for who he truly was.
He had
Yeah, she is tall. She's super tall. I didn't even realize that she was 6 feet tall as well. Guys, I'm 4'11", so when I judge tall, it's way different.
unique way it seemed.
Look at that. That's
of
beautiful.
making whoever he was with, like, feel very special. Really just was a genuinely nice person who just loved life.
Both Julie and Michelle told me Dr. Tepe truly loved his job and his patients. They say he listened, learned about their lives, and genuinely cared. Christy?
Hey, I have a dentist like that too that I love. All right, real quick, it's a minute and a few seconds. Let's just quickly listen to those coworkers and friends call 911 4 times, and then I'll show you the quick body cam footage of them going to the wrong house. All right, I don't know what I know it's a huge mess up, but I wonder what part that's going to play in them going to the wrong house ultimately.
I guess I would like to ask for a wellness check on an individual at their home. This individual, Spencer, works with me, and he did not show up to work this morning, and we cannot get a hold of him or his family. He is always on time, and he would contact us if there is any issues whatsoever. And I just don't know how else to say this. Like, we're very, very concerned because this is very out of character, and we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
Okay. Right. You remember that. Couldn't get a hold of his wife, which is the more concerning thing. Justice for Noog. Hello. And thank you. Says, I love your show. It was a cop. Yeah, we're going to do that right now. And then the silencer. Yes. That's going to be a huge key piece of evidence.
We will send somebody over as soon as we have an officer available.
Okay, what's the emergency there, police or medical?
Maybe both, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of doing the
We already
wellness.
had a call out there. They knocked on the front door and back door multiple times, and there was no answer.
Now remember, this dispatcher is being kind of a bitch, guys. This dispatcher, you're being nice, so insensitive and condescending. Well, she's a bitch, all right? But remember, the people that keep calling thought that law enforcement had already been there for a wellness check, and somebody had to have gone in the room to see him dead. They had to have gotten to the house. They'd already been gone for some time. Yeah, by the wellness check took place, so I can't imagine it being a part in the case. But it is because law enforcement messed up. It will be a key piece of evidence for somebody. They're going to use it.
Sure.
Yeah, no answer. I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell, but we can't get in.
What's the emergency there?
Our boss did not report for work. We haven't been able to get a hold of him for 3 hours. We are on site, and we can hear
Okay,
kids
I
inside.
just talked to somebody there.
Okay, I'm just making sure somebody called.
What's changed since the last person I talked to?
There's a body. There's a body.
There's a body.
And there's no way he would have seen that body unless he went into the house. We now, in hindsight, know that.
The inside?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me get you on the line with the medic, okay? Stay on the line.
He appears dead. There's blood. He's laying next to his bed, off of his bed, and there's blood. I can't get closer to see more than that. You can tell he's obviously not breathing or anything. Yeah.
Okay, we do have officers responding there. Do you know if he's been ill or anything like that?
No, I was just visiting yesterday.
Columbus Police, Tech 107.
Yes, I would like to ask.
All right, that's it. So now let me hop right to here. While they were calling 911, this was happening. They called 911, and I kept wondering, why the hell did they just walk away? Weren't the children screaming? Weren't the children yelling and screaming? Wasn't there noise going on? Maybe the dogs barking? This is why. They went to the wrong house, all right? And again, yeah, they were already gone for hours. Besides the point, still, I'm telling you, it's gotta play a role. The fact that Brian Rambles even said law enforcement effed up and someone from YouTube filled out a FOIA, that's how we found out they were wrong. It's gonna play a factor in it. I'm telling you. Wrong house. This is body cam of the FOIA footage. Remember, Plunder and that Lana True Crime, whatever her name is, did FOIAs and they got this. Yep.
Unit 43.
I mean, I'm just saying, if this were me that called a welfare check for my brother or sister-in-law or somebody, I would be livid if there was an extra hour or two where the children were alone and you mofos messed up the wellness check. Just saying. I might even want to sue you if my lawyer says so. That's the kind of thing that happens. I'm not saying I'm going to do this. I'm just saying that's what happened. Yeah, he's super happy at the wrong house, brother. Right?
This is newly released body cam video we just received from the city of Columbus, showing the first police officer to respond to a call related to the case of Spencer and Monique Tepe. But the officer in this video went to the wrong address, according to the chief of police. Police in Ohio are finally speaking to the public about the investigation into the murders of Spencer and Monique Tepe. What the Columbus police chief is now saying about where they are in the investigation.
Okay. Got several calls on that. What's changed since the last?
All right, we already went through all this.
Shows the officer who.
Let's just watch the body cam real quick in the wrong house. It's got to play a factor.
Now, this is the new body cam video that the city of Columbus just sent to us here at Law and Crime, and it shows the officer who was dispatched to make a welfare check at Spencer Tepe's home after.
That's what I was going to say too. That house is in the areas that's not gentrified. Their area was very gentrified, and the house was clear that this does not look like the house. But again, those children had to wait around another hour and a half because these goofballs messed up.
He didn't show up for work at his dental office, and that officer, he did check out the property. He knocks on the door, didn't see anything and left. The only issue is, according to the chief of police, he went to the wrong address. This was at roughly 9:30 in the morning, about 20 to 30 minutes after the first phone call was made by Spencer Tepe's boss, saying that something just didn't feel right because he didn't show up for work.
And so that's my issue as well, Brian, is the mistakes that they make. People make mistakes, but the fact that they had no intention on telling us why they made the mistake, or how they made the mistake, or that they made a mistake, that's the problem. All right. That's a problem, because when all those 911 callers were calling in, we were blaming them. Maybe they know something. Why are they so adamant? Well, that's because they didn't go to the house at all. That's why. All right, let's keep going. Anyway,
it would be roughly another half hour until a 911 caller then discovers what he
Yes.
says is Spencer Tepe's body in the home.
I mean, here's another thing. If you guys say it doesn't play a key factor, what about the key factor that a person had to find their coworker, boss, or family member dead? Right? The only reason it was unintentional, but they lied about it. All right. Yeah, just fess up, man, or you're gonna get sued. That's how I see it. Somebody had to find them now instead of law enforcement identifying the bodies and not having the coworkers or the family members come into a horrific scene. That's what happened.
Of the couple on December 30th. More than a week into trying to find the person who killed Spencer and Monique in their home while their kids were there on December 30th, a lot of it is still a mystery. But the Columbus police chief did make some public comments, and from what we heard, she didn't directly say whether the public is still at risk. Now, what might
they're still not really saying. I'm not hearing that the 911 operator gave the wrong address. I'm just hearing that the law enforcement went to the wrong house. So I don't know where it came from or what, but that's what we're talking about. All right. That ain't nobody with the money's out. Exactly. But the thing is now somebody had to see them. I wouldn't want to see my relative or coworker shot to death.
That tell us about where police are in this investigation? We're going to talk about that, and we'll talk about what the chief reportedly said about the voice you hear in this call.
Hello?
Hi, this is 911. We just got a hang-up call. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm okay.
Oh, yeah. So we found out that was just another 911 call prior to it. All right. Yeah, he was one block over. You saw the dispatch on paper. And you guys, that's it now. And that's what I'm saying. Something's going to play a key point in that. Since there's a civil suit's coming, it's just how it goes. That's the bottom line. And this 911 call, in my opinion, at this point, it was not Monique. It was some person that was at a party. There's no validity to that. There's Spencer. This is before we knew, not Spencer. I'm sorry, Michael McKee. And then they just go over everything that we've gone over, right? I mean, we've already gone through all this. So that's it, guys. All right. We were here for 2 hours and 4 minutes, and you guys stayed here even with the hiccup. The friend shouldn't have been at the crime scene. The cop should have been there first. Ding, ding, ding. All right, guys. As much as I hate to go, I hate to see you go. I'm out of here. We made it 2 hours and 4 minutes with a bit of a hiccup. He's a dum-dum. But guys, I appreciate you so much. Everybody that gifted a membership or pitched towards a goal, thank you, Marge, for the $2. This guy's nuts. Brian Rambles for the Guilty of Crime membership. Curly for being a member for 10 months. Sunshine for getting your membership. Holly, super sticker. Turtle Gang. Julie for being a member 13 months. Brian gifted another membership. Foxy. Emily, 13 months. And Kathy became a member again. So thank you. Cat H, welcome in. Good to see you. I hope that you can go back and rewatch this. Boy, there's a lot of information packed tonight. Family said the caller, not mother. Okay, good night. All right, guys, much love. We're doing the strong arm thing. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. We're gonna do a nice Friday episode, and right here from California to Vermont to anywhere. So you guys stay warm. I love you all. And yes, there was a giant shootout in San Jose yesterday when I was filming with you guys. There was a guy that went into the I think he went into the car dealership right on Capitol Expressway, stole a car, drove off in the car, and the cops chased him, dumped the car, carjacked another one. Ultimately, the guy died, and the cop has a fractured skull, all in San Jose, guys. All right. So tomorrow we'll be here every day, 4 p.m. California time, Pacific Standard, 6 p.m. Central, and 7 p.m. Eastern, Brian. All right. Be careful, y'all. Love you, Teresa. Thank you guys for being here. Michigan, you guys 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. All right. And thank you, Midnight Lace. If you buy me a coffee, it's all going to go towards the Crime Con 2026 in May. I am going, come hell or high water. I will be there. All right. Peace out. And Mab, email me I would love, love, love to collaborate with you, my friend, and help you get some more subscribers, buddy. All right, and grow that channel. Tell Mrs. Mab I say hello. Love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you. Good night.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?